When I hear you read that article about what happened to me then, like, I know that that's a version of me that was in a lot of pain. I was a person who was highly driven by ego. The persona I created for myself was about being bigger and better. That was the way I thought I'd be a winner, was by kind of overcoming any weakness that was in me. I don't think I really realised it at the time, but now I look back and I reflect on it. I realised that what I was trying to overcome was a hole inside myself. Well, my name's Dan Cozzins-White. I work with people's bodies, help them to get fitter, stronger, but I'm particularly interested in how that aspect of them can improve their mind, can improve them emotionally and spiritually as well. So I'm a personal trainer with a bit extra. Should we go through to the yoga studio? Okay, feeling all right?
Yeah.
We're going to do a little bit of work on the hamstring now, so that's it. Let your shoulders just drop down a little bit. You can have your arms just straight. Drop your head first, round your shoulders, and then start to let your... That's it, good. Nice. And then come back up, keep the chin tucked in until you get to the top. Nice, 10 of them. Nice. Good. Nice. Good man. Right, go straight through.
Yeah. And also, I don't want to get beat by my 10-year-old daughter. I mean, she could do like 10K without sweating.
There's times now where I'm like, where Sonny, who's the 2-year-old,
Yeah.
where like, I'll be like, come here, Sonny, I need you to do something. And he's just like, automatically, it's like programmed into it that if I'm being told I've got to do that, I'm going to run that way. So I'm like, have to like run after him, and I'm like, oh, like he's actually like, I have to put in a bit of a spurt to catch up with him. It's like, he's 2.
He's already off. You stop teaching him.
I was supposed to be a sprinter.
Yeah. 10 again, yeah.
Yeah. When I was 4 years old, I was put into the sprint race in the sports day, and I won it. And then I won every single year for all of primary school. So I realised I was pretty fast. I had a pretty successful career, but I always say I was good, not great. And when I was 21, I got an opportunity to start coaching. From the point when I decided to focus solely on the coaching, my career was just soaring, and I didn't think it was ever going to end. I thought I was just going to keep going and going and going.
What made you write that statement?
It's quite emotional listening to that. It is true. Like, I did fall out of love with it, But I think it's like a lot of things in life, when you look back on it with hindsight, you understand it more now than you did then. And I was definitely responding to genuine emotions within me of feeling disillusioned with the sport. It was a difficult decision, even though I really felt a strong force pushing me out of the sport. I did take the responsibilities I had towards those athletes seriously, and I built up a substantial business that was providing me with a living and supporting my family. So it wasn't an easy decision. But now I look back and I reflect on it. I look back at the person I was then, and I know that version of me didn't have a long-term future, certainly not living with any peace of mind. Like, I was a person who was highly driven by ego.
Mate, I think you look bigger on that side. This side? Yeah. You're right. Your left arm looks big in that position. Cool. Okay. Is my nipple a bit soft? Should I flick it up? Hi, I'm Dan Cousins.
I'm Conor McQuiston.
And we're from Dan Cousins Athletics Performance here in Bath. What we do every day is train elite level athletes. And what we're going to do over the coming months is release videos showing you exactly what's going on here in Bath every day. We're going to talk about how to be better in the gym. We're going to talk about things you can do on the track that are going to make you faster. We're going to talk about how you eat better. We're going to talk about mindset, which is perhaps the most important thing.
When I left athletics at the end of 2016, I fairly quickly plummeted into an incredibly dark place. By far the darkest place I've ever been in my life. And I just didn't have it inside me to be able to be of any use to anyone, not even myself. And not only that, I was starting to develop an unhealthy relationship with certain substances to cope with how I felt. Because my whole identity was wrapped up in who I was as a coach and an athlete and a winner. And I'd taken that away from myself. So I didn't really know who I was. So I had to start a very slow and gradual and long process to find out who I was on a more fundamental level and what life might look like for me if I started to discover that about that part of myself. That's it. Keep that softness in the knees.
That's the conscious bit at the end. Just
Yeah, maybe 50% of the time, but it doesn't really matter. It's not like a win-loss or a success-fail type thing.
so don't
It's-
fixate too much
No,
on this.
it's an awareness.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like when you, it's like I don't know whether you've ever done much meditation, have you?
No.
Okay, so in meditation, usually what people have is an anchor. It can be breathing, so focusing on the breath, or sometimes certain forms of meditation use a mantra.
Right.
And what happens is you're using that anchor to pull you back to the present moment. When you first start to learn to do it, you'll be competitive with yourself, and you'll notice quite quickly, oh, I'm not concentrating on my breath, and like, come on, come back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the wrong attitude. The wrong attitude is kind of to gently bring yourself back to the present moment, not be too judgmental to yourself. And that's what you're trying to do here, is like you're focusing on that feeling of softness through the knees, okay? And maybe you come up and your awareness goes to something else, and you resort back to that natural of, I'm going to lock my knees back because I need to lock my knees back to support the rest of the structure, because that's how I keep myself upright.
Yeah.
So, okay, well that one, I'll just soften them again, go back to the softness and go to the next rep. And my approach to life wasn't working, so I had to move away from that, and I had to develop a new approach. And that led to me being quite open-minded to trying different things that might be good for me. So I started doing yoga. I learned how to meditate. I've learned about breathing and the effect that that can have. And also, I started in 2017 doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Right now, guys. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've saved myself going further.
When you start doing jiu-jitsu, to start off with, like, I applied my old mentality to it. I tried to out-muscle people. And in one of my first jiu-jitsu sessions, I got tapped out 5 times in 6 minutes by a girl who was half my weight. That will smash your ego. And it makes you realise you're not as tough as you think you are. And so you realise that, you know, if she doesn't have the strength, she must have something different. And I really love it, and I get a lot from it, and I apply a lot of what I learn in jiu-jitsu to what I do with my clients.
Thank you, mate.
The overall philosophy, what it's become is, how can we move better? How can we use movement to encourage the body to move into the places that it's not really keen on going to at the moment? And what might be the effect on your body? How can we reduce pain and injury from doing that? How can we see improvements in your mind? How might that affect your emotional state? Because I see those things as being completely connected to each other. You can't separate them out from each other. One will affect the other. And that's how and why I've started to become more holistic in the way that I see things. I'm not just seeing a body in front of me. I'm seeing that whole person. What have we got here?
What's that?
That's a puffin, isn't it? There's a fulmar. We saw one of them in Lynmouth the other day. Do you want the mallard
Is that
there?
a mallard duck?
Do you want the
I
mallard?
like that one.
Which one?
Rat tail. Yeah.
That's a mallard, not a teal. Come on then. Do you want the mallard? Lovely. I will ask for it. The most powerful thing that I've engaged with in the last 5 years is nature, and particularly birds. Looks like there's 9. Have a look. Okay. You don't like them? It's something reliable and safe for me, something that I can go back to time and time again, and it's just become the most fundamental part of everything I do for myself. Often when my clients are up here, like we have a beautiful outdoor space here at Well Bath, and we get lots of birds that fly over, and probably bore quite a lot of them on what they are, but you know, usually people are interested.
Well, me and Noah have been productive. We've cleaned out the guinea pigs, trimmed their claws, gave them a cuddle.
Oh, you trim their claws? What, both my feet are planted firmly to the ground?
No, it's so dirty in
When I was coming into 2019, I decided with my son Noah that in 2019 we'd set ourselves a bit of a challenge of seeing how many different birds we could see in the course of the year. The whole adventure gained its own momentum, and over the course of the year we ended up seeing 123 different species of birds. You know, it's difficult to be a father when you're struggling with such fundamental problems inside yourself because you don't have much to give other people. Noah and I, we really needed that. We needed something that was going to give us a common ground where we could reconnect. And as a result of that, I reconnected with that child inside myself.
They will grow fine if you I think when they go yellow,
Yeah, that's true. I think it's one of those whatever.
You didn't peel it.
He winds the door up and then wondered why she doesn't like it.
I don't wonder. She winds me up.
Everyone who's been involved in my life deserves a lot of thanks. You know, there's too many people to mention, but the most important person is Bryony, my wife. There's no doubt about that. You know, she's come into my life in a period where I needed to be saved, and she's helped me to save myself, and we've got a beautiful life together. And it's only for those reasons that I can look back on it all and see it as it was. Except I made some mistakes. There were sorries that had to be made, and there's sorries still to be made. But to feel thankful for all of those people, for the role that they played in my life, and and I hope I can have the opportunity to maybe help some of those people again, one way or the other. But if they don't want it, if any of them don't want it, then I'm going to put that energy into helping other people. It's glaringly obvious to me that where I can have the most impact is by helping people in a similar way to how I helped them before, but doing it now in a much cleaner and more loving way.